Seka for making his time available for us. Indeed, though you have retired, you are not tired, and I would want to urge the National Steering Committee and also the networks, particularly the district networks, to make very good use of his expertise, and hope that we'll do likewise with the other Malawians of repute who have retired but are not tired. There are several in our ministry. So when we're doing the work at the district level, let's not forget about that resource. It is very critical that we bring them on board. Somebody by the name of Jack Shonkoff, who works for the National Scientific Council for the Developing Child in the US, said this, I'll quote, "One of the most powerful ways to change the world is to make it better for kids." End of quote. And if we think about this quote, we see that there is a lot that we need to do to make the world better for our children. There are a number of issues that we are currently working on. For example, between January last year to date, the minister with support from UNICEF and in collaboration with the Center for Social Research and the other researchers embarked on several pieces of research looking at issues that affect children. And one particular area that we were looking at was to do with the issues of violence against children. And one of the key recommendations that is coming out of all the studies that were carried out, they were both qualitative and quantitative studies, looking at what are the causal factors for violence against children, how much violence is there in as far as the issues of children are concerned. One of the major recommendations that is coming out is that we need to come up with interventions that promote positive parenting skills. This appears to be at the core in terms of the causal factors. So as we are moving forward, we need to really see how we can address issues of violence and other issues that need positive parenting as a response. And in that vein, what we have been doing yesterday and today sets us on the right route. And as a ministry, we really look forward to this work, and we hope that through the network and through the National Steering Committee, we would be better coordinated. Because one of the issues that we have noted is all of us are doing something in this regard. But because we are not properly coordinated, we don't share what we are doing, and we are losing opportunities for learning, and we're also losing opportunities for scaling up some of the good interventions that we are piloting in the districts where we're working. Also, one other issue that has come out very strongly from the violence against children studies is the involvement of fathers, males, on issues of parenting. So as we are planning for our interventions, whether we are talking of developing the guidelines and what have you, let's reflect on how can we effectively engage males on these issues. Lastly but not least, looking at the work plan that was shared, I must say I'm pleased to know that in terms of our approach with issues to do with parenting, since there are many of us, we need not to restrict ourselves to one particular age group, as has been the case in the past. Let's look at programs that address issues of all children in the different age brackets. For instance, we need to come up with programs that address parenting issues for children before birth to the age of 3. Programs for children attending ECD centers, 3 to 5. We also need specific programs that address children who are in primary school. We need specific programs for parents of teenagers. And not forgetting programs for guardians that are looking after children that are not their own biological children. We have some challenges. Some 4 or 5 years ago, we had just about 6,000 children in child care institutions. But due to issues of the HIV/AIDS pandemic and the growing levels of poverty, we see these numbers trebling in terms of children under child care institutions. So as we are developing our guidelines, this is another group that requires a lot of attention. There are issues surrounding those children. Maybe people talk of inter-country adoptions or adoptions within the country, foster care and what have you. We need to reflect. What quality of care are we providing for children within these arrangements? And not forgetting vulnerable children in basically 2 categories, let's say 3 categories. Those that are living with HIV/AIDS, those that are orphaned, and those that are living with disabilities. As a ministry, we are developing a new national plan of action for vulnerable children. And in terms of the new vulnerability framework, these are the categories of children, vulnerable children, who need our attention. So let's make use of all these frameworks that are available. And if we do so, we should be able to address all the major issues surrounding parenting. For those organizations that have made it to the steering committee, I also want to say thank you very much for showing your interest to make your contribution to the National Steering Committee. And we really look forward to your active participation and engagement on issues of promoting positive parenting in Malawi. For those of us who will be making our contributions through the district parenting networks, let's not forget the existing structures on the ground. From our gender, children, youth, and disability sector, we have structures on the ground by the name of Child Development and Social Welfare Technical Working Groups, and also the sector working group. So let's ensure that those working at the district level touch base with the district level TWGs, and the National Steering Committee also touches base with the national level structure for our gender, children, youth and development structure. And moving away from this meeting, I just want to echo